So I traveled to this random spot in the middle of Wyoming, but why? You see, in Chicago Geographer's Discord server, there's a game called the Travel Pictures game, in which every 4 days a set of random coordinates is generated somewhere around the world, and people submit pictures that they took or were present in the taking of, trying to be the closest. Why? To score wholly coveted points. I'm sure if you get enough, you get gift cards or something, but who cares? I'm here for the points. Now, most of the time the location is on land, so you actually have a chance to submit something close. Once every 5 rounds, the coordinates can be in the water, usually in the middle of the ocean, because that's how water works. You might think, well, how is this relevant? Well, because in addition to keeping track of the coordinates, the antipode is also kept track of. The antipode being the spot on the Earth furthest away from the point. And wouldn't you know it, the antipode this time just so happened to be some random place in Wyoming. I thought, hey, I live pretty close to some random place in Wyoming, relatively. And you see, the thing with scoring points with the antipode is, you can't just submit a picture close to the antipode and get points. No. That would still net you the base score of submitting. You have to travel to the antipode itself to get the points. Pretty close by, so I decided to set off and make history by getting the first antipode 5k. A negative 5k, if you will. I'm not winning the game, because I am going to the exact opposite part of the winning space, but I still get extra points for it. This isn't even the first time I've driven to a location, not even in Wyoming, so check out that video if you haven't already. Here we go, past the Rocky Mountains, maybe the most interesting scenery I'll see on the drive today. But I didn't take much film of it because I see this all the time. I've driven down to Denver like hundreds of times. May only like 12, but whatever, a lot. And then after driving for a few hours, I finally leave Montana and enter the state where the location actually is. I wanted to get a nice shot of the border, but that didn't turn out so good. But then eventually I reached Sheridan. But Sheridan is where the journey takes a new turn for me, because I'm used to just going straight down the interstate. But now we're going east along the US 14, and yep, this is the scenery. It's pretty much what I saw for the next 2 hours. Maybe an hour and a half. Now, anytime I drive to the middle of nowhere, I like to find rural doodads and whatnot. And this time, this is about the closest I got to finding one, so... Yep. I'm from Montana, right? Pretty big empty state, but Wyoming. Holy shit. Wyoming is on a different level of empty. Montana's pretty empty, right? But then Wyoming, it's like, wow, this is somehow even more empty. I don't get it. Then after not seeing a car for like 30 minutes, I finally see one at the junction of U-Cross. After driving for a bit, just more of this scenery, saw his driveway just lined with a bunch of trees. US highways are so funny to me because it's like, here's this massive road that spans across the continent, but you can also just use it to turn onto Terry's driveway. Some other random buildings around, and then they reach the most major settlement along this road, Clearmont, which has a population of like 100. They've got a town hall, a library, they got all kinds of stuff here. Now you know what Clearmont, Wyoming looks like. I don't think anyone was curious. This part of the drive was shorter than the time it took to get to Sheridan, but it felt so much longer. Maybe because it was new scenery or whatever, but like at a certain point I'm like, damn, I feel like I should be getting close. And then I'd pull over, check the map, and it's like, no, you still got like another hour. And it's like, really? I feel like I've been driving this for an hour already. It's like, well, you haven't. So just a lot of this scenery, a lot of rolling hills. Not like the worst scenery in the world. It's kind of neat. But I did pass by a couple of random bars on the way there. There's no other buildings along the road for miles around. Thinking the whole time, like, how's it January right now? It's January. Look at this. January? Okay, dude. But then finally I'd reached the second turn I would have to take in today to go up to the town of Recluse. How is there someone here? How is there someone here? I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm turning into the middle of nowhere, and I'm following someone? Excuse me? And I was wondering, is someone else gonna try and visit this location? Because obviously that's the only reason someone would go out here. I don't know why I felt awkward about driving behind a car, because, it's whatever. But then eventually I reached the town of Recluse with a population of 7, according to this sign. So I think this might be the smallest town I've ever been to. I don't know if I've ever been to a town with a population in the single digits before. Even the least populated places in Montana have like numbers in the teens. The town population is so small, this video is probably gonna get more likes than it. Just crazy. Like this video to surpass the population of Recluse. But apparently they have a school with a mascot, the Recluse Roadrunners. I guess copyright isn't real. If there's only 7 people in town, how do you have a school with a mascot? How do you have a team? Okay, is that just 2 children? I'm sure it's like a bunch of like kids all around the area congregate there, but That still can't be that many. For this location, I had to keep driving past the town of Recluse, and you know, I eventually stopped following the other car, but then the entire time I was driving to get out there, from Recluse to the location, there was a truck following me, and I was like, what the fuck is someone else doing out here? And they were probably thinking, what the fuck is someone else doing out here, huh? Except they were probably way more confused, because they're a FedEx truck driver, and you know, they gotta deliver mail to the people, you know, who live on the ranches or whatever. But I think it's wild that I ended up on this road at the same time as like one of the only other people who would be here. Also out here I discovered one of my new favorite sign types, livestock at large. Never seen one of these before, and there's quite a few out here. And then eventually I reach a sign where it says, private property, no trespassing. Pretty common thing at sight in Wyoming. I'm like, okay, I guess this is about as close to the location as I can get. Time to get out and take a picture. I had gotten some distance between me and the FedEx truck, and he drove past me, and I looked at his face. Here's my best recreation of it. Probably very confused as to why I just kind of turned around and stopped on the side of the road as well. But you know, I did it. All for those extra 5,000 points. I spent an entire day of my life driving to just Red Dirt Central. Why? 5,000 points, man. A man will go to great lengths for some points. And then that's the story of how I 5K'd Christmas. And then I gotta drive all the way back home in the same day. And as I was driving back, I saw them, the livestock, at large. You know, it's always nice when a sign isn't lying. And that's about it, you would think. However, as I was wrapping up editing this video, in the USA GeoGuessr Discord server, which has a similar game, but all the locations are in the United States, this location was posted. And would you look at that? It's in Idaho, another bordering state. I've still got 1 week left of free time. So let's check it out. That's right, this video is actually a double feature. Also, fun fact, since the last time, the West is now extremely cold. So completely different vibes than the last location. Go fresh new path complete with very cold winter, but honestly, not too bad. And guess what? Idaho's warmer than Montana, so hey, we get to warm up in balmy southern Idaho. It's 20 instead of -20 down there. Take a nice beautiful drive through the winter forest here. And we take a trip down America's longest main street. Not a lot to say for this part, other than it looks really pretty. And we still got a long way to go, so here we go. But after driving through the forest, most of the drive is actually through the white void of Idaho. Every time I've driven through Idaho in the winter, this is what it looks like. It has never been sunny. It is just a white void. Also a fear-mongering billboard using a Dune quote. Cool, man. Then a couple hours pass, and I'm like, oh wait, I haven't really been keeping track of anything that's happened. That's because we're still just in the white void. This drive wasn't that interesting to me, maybe because I've driven it a bunch more recently. After turning west at Pocatello, I finally hit a stretch I haven't been on in like 10 years, and it's still just the white void. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Southern Idaho is definitely the less interesting half of Idaho. And after driving a little bit west, finally reach American Falls. Drive past the town, look at this brick structure in a lake. Okay, don't know why that's there. And we keep on driving a little bit, and then we ended up taking a left on this road that goes straight for like 10 miles. Here's a fun fact. I don't got anything. We just drive straight on this road through potato country for a little while, and then eventually, hold on now, we end up having to take a left turn at a T. Thrilling, I know. And then we go south for a little bit, and then we're just going straight west again, through potato country, through the white void. And after we keep going straight, now we were supposed to take a left turn here, however this is about as close as we can get, as the rest of the road was completely blocked off due to snowdrifts. I mean, not completely, but I definitely didn't want to risk our car driving through them, and like, I mean, probably could hike through it, but like, where are we going to park? We're just going to park in the middle of this road? That's not a good idea. So this was as far as we got. And fun fact, Craters of the Moon is right over there. Like, literally, I'm pretty sure that is the boundary for Craters of the Moon, National Monument and Preserve. Not the cool part of Craters of the Moon, but I do think that is part of it. Second 5K in the span of 2 weeks, done. Not a lot to say, it's a random potato field. It's cold and windy out. I'm gonna go back now. But before heading home, took a pit stop at the city park in American Falls. When I clicked on Google Maps, the first photo it showed was of a turret. Oh yeah, there it is. In life, you have to ask the important questions, like, would it really be a city park in Idaho if there wasn't old military equipment? Yeah, oof. Some kid has to have, like, tried to turn these valves, but, you know, couldn't because...
Thinking it's playground equipment?
Yeah, because it's painted the same. Like, so adjacent to this park's some churches, the Power County Courthouse, the Orange Contraption, and a Radio Shack? One of the last surviving Radio Shacks in American Falls, Idaho. Got the extra points for 5K, and then finally went home. The imaginary points that pertain to nothing outside of this game. I'm addicted to numbers going up, man. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Check out last winter when I 5K'd another random location in Wyoming. I think that one's pretty cool. A lot more scenic than these two. And I'm sure at some point I'll 5K something in the summer when I can actually, like, get close to it and it's not blocked off by snow. Until then, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Check out our Goshen Man video. Other Ocean Man social medias in the description. Goodbye.